Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So this quote is often given attributed to Leonardo da Vinci. I love that I use the word attribute in the first 10 seconds of this video, because we're going to be talking about email designs. And actually, many argue that L- Leo da Vinci was not the one who said it first. It was kind of like wabi sabi Japanese philosophers. But this video is not about that. This video is about email design, specifically for e-commerce. And this is the only video you will ever need to watch about e-commerce email marketing design. All the other times when you will be watching a video will be kind of like a waste. You could have just worked on your business, because this is the only one you will need. Why should you listen to me? So in over 8 years, I helped over 200 e-commerce brands with email marketing, including 2 Fortune 500 companies. And this is what I've seen. Okay. So I will get back to the quotes in just a second, but I wanted to give you kind of like my structure for like how to structure an email, and why I added this one. For example, like there are those who do business and those who play business, because there's this big bias in humans. It's called complexity bias, where we prefer options that are more difficult than what needs to be. And we're kind of sometimes underwhelmed with simplicity. So let me just show you a couple of email designs, and I will ask you which one you think converts higher. So this three, like nice elements. Yes, all of these like I just added these screenshots in. So my apologies for in case they have I don't know, like all of these, like not the sharpest. Um, this one, or just imagine these are fully sharp and like long and everything. I didn't want to fit in all of this because I wanted you to be able to see the main parts of the email, or this one. Okay. So, because of the title and probably the first 2 minutes of this video, you probably understand where I'm going with this. So there are so many times when we tested an email like this versus an email like this. We also did an email like these, like fancy versus simple. Very very simple A/B test. I mean, it's actually one of the most difficult A/B tests to execute, because you essentially have to create the emails twice. But we did it anyway, and over 70% of the times, this one won. Okay. Yes, there are times when these ones had a higher click rate. And yes, there are industries where something like this makes sense. So, for example, luxury interior design, luxury or like higher end fashion. Let's say it's not even that high end fashion, but this brand, it just kind of worked better. And actually, for this brand, this is kind of like I was wondering if I should include these, but it's kind of like supplements and also things for intimacy. Okay. And these ones, I would argue um, that longer, just text emails, or not even long. We tested that one as well, by the way, where it's like just text, but shorter or longer. And the shorter ones, once again, won over 75% of the time. So what does that tell us? It tells us that sometimes simple works better. And yes, you do have to A/B test this for your brand. But if you ask me, let's say you make less than $50,000 per month. If you make more than that, then don't watch this video anymore, and just send me a message, okay? And we will do it for you, because at that point, that makes more sense. But if you make less than 50K, I would argue you should almost never do emails like these, because it's going to be expensive for you. You should instead spend that money, in my opinion, on Facebook ads, for example, because yeah, there are tools like Gamma, for example, GAMMA. I'm not affiliated with them. They can create pretty nice designs already for you. It's fully AI. It's a bit like using ChatGPT or Gronk for copywriting. So you can do that if you want, but in my opinion, unless you sell luxury jewelry, which is one of the most competitive verticals in e-commerce right now, and also luxury fashion. Everyone wants to have a fashion brand and their mom. Okay. So if you somehow found a niche in fashion that is like, and by luxury, what I mean is like, like super expensive dresses, super expensive suits. That's the sort of stuff that I mean with fashion. Like even with this brand, the client was like kind of touchy about the design. But in my opinion, simpler emails would have still competed with these ones. We never tested it because the client wasn't open to it. And this is kind of what I mean with this quote. I don't even know who said this, but there are those who do business and those who play business, because it's so common. Something that I'm seeing with a lot of e-com store owners, and it's really funny because I worked with quite a few who were in like low seven figures, and those who like made like mid like eight figures, something along those lines. And consistently, what I'm seeing is those who make more money will just kind of be open to test anything. That also includes, for example, discounts. Like the smallest e-com stores I ever worked with are, and the ones that never make any money or very little and barely break even, if that, they're always the ones who will not want to do discounts, not want to test simpler emails, for example. And it's just a very clear tendency. I'm actually thinking about making a video of the differing mindsets that I'm seeing between 7 and 8 figure e-commerce store owners. Maybe it's going to be a video for another day. But yeah, I think you're starting to get the point of this. So if your store makes less than 50K, in my opinion, you should, unless once again you're in those niches, which is very unlikely that you're in those ones. And if you are, maybe you should consider pivoting. By the way, like if you make less than 50, 40, 30, and you're in the luxury jewelry niche, um, I don't know what's your like lead gen source, like if you're doing Facebook ads or like what you're doing. Like maybe if it's like fully organic, maybe it's okay and you're making money, it's fine. In that case, I would just use Gamma, for example. Like I would almost, if I was making less than 50K a month, I would almost never have a specific designer to create. I would never pay personally as an email marketer. Like, and what you have to realize, it's actually really in my interest to tell you and sell you that the more complicated an email, the more money it will make, because that will make you more likely to just pay me to do it because it's complicated. But I'm kind of telling you the opposite, even though I'm financially incentivized to tell you otherwise, because it's just not what I've seen. Okay. So simple emails that have, by the way, you don't even need to do any of these things like this email. Okay. This one is a personalized email, and I just wanted to include it because I'm a big fan. Like if you're going to add or do any kind of design elements, I'm just a fan of doing something like this because not many people do it in e-commerce, where this is Will Jones selling you this, or not selling you, sending you this email from whatever e-com store. It doesn't really make that big of a difference, but if you're gonna spend on some design, this is actually kind of like the first thing that I would design, just because nobody else is doing it, and it always looks like a little extra, like scaling the unscalable. Like, okay, this is a person. By the way, never use just Will, because there are some e-com stores that send me a sender name like Will Jones. Like, who are you? Like, and then it turns out it's, I don't know, Konzuri shoes, and it's like, okay, well, I don't know who Will Jones is. I know what the brand I subscribe to is. So that's just a quick caveat for like sender names. And also something that has been really frustrating me in the last few years is there are clients where it could be a really good fit. They're making money. The emails would perform well, but they just have this something fixation about making every email perfect. And for example, I had this one client where they wouldn't approve anything, and in my opinion the emails were pretty good. Obviously there's always listen, like there's always ways to make an email better. Okay, there's always going to be a way. But at the time where they were making like 100K per month, um, and we could send one campaign a month because they were so picky about the email templates, and it was just super frustrating because I knew the emails would have made money, 99% certainty. You can never be sure in email marketing, um, but we couldn't send anything because they wouldn't approve anything. So this, if anything, this is kind of like a video as a call to action, if you own an e-commerce store, to just forget about like this. Okay, you can like if you make over 100K per month and you pay me to do your emails, and I have two amazing designers who I work with, and some really good like QA people who will spot mistakes where mistakes could not be spotted by normal humans, we can test it. Okay, like above 100K per month, let's test it. If you really want to, even if you like, let's say for example, this is actually an eight figure e-commerce brand. It's called Beard Brand, and they sell these beard balm, something like that. You could argue it's a pretty visual product, right? Like you could, and by the way, something that works really well for them is like before afters, right? Like before you have a bad, like a weird, I don't know, weak beard, and then after that you have a full, like really nicely defined one. So, or like maybe it's shining, I don't know. So those ones were great, but this is their abandoned cart flow, and this is the one that worked best. There are two call to action buttons that are the same. Variance kills results and consistency. So that, has it ever happened to you that you open an email and you're like, okay, guys, I can click where you want me to click, but what do you want me to do? Like, I'm happy to like go through your funnel. I kind of do this as a marketer because I'm just curious what their funnel looks like. But in so many emails that I'm seeing, it's not clear what the brand wants me to do or this person wants me to do. But if there are only two things I can click and they both say the same thing, like it's so clear. It's the first thing that I see in this email, and that should be the case in your emails as well. So, two call to action buttons, it has been proven that more than one performs better. Two or three, in my opinion, is good. Like, I just usually like two because if you say this same thing three times, it's a little bit like, okay, I get it. But if you say it twice, it's just the sweet spot. It should say the same text. Don't vary. Like, oh, like maybe it should be different. Like, I don't want to sound repetitive. Like, sound repetitive. Okay, this is not medicine. Unfortunately, not Medicine Avenue. Cool, like headline for a TV ad or like a, I don't know, poster on a wall. It's not lemon full stop with the, I think it was Volkswagen cars. It's not that. Okay, this is conversion. This is direct response. Be repetitive. Okay, at least is what I've seen. And as you can see, there are two sentences in this email. Hey, if you count it, maybe you count the greeting, then it's three. This is just and by the way, I actually kind of would prefer this to be in another line just for the aesthetic and also for like mobile optimizing. And you could argue that this font is a little bit too small, but what they did really well is clearly actually I like the logo in here because it reminds me what you have to realize. I'm not finishing any of these sentences, okay? This is the first one I will try to finish. What you have to realize is a really big percentage of your readers or viewers of your emails will just kind of be like, who are you again? Like they're not, you know, it's not as fancy as you think. Like, oh, maybe we should write copy that like speaks more to their why. By the way, if you haven't seen my copywriting video, make sure you check it. I made a whole video about copywriting, so make sure you check that one. But very similar with email design, remind them who you are. Okay, like make it clear who you are with the logo, okay, or something like that. Logo is great. And two call to action buttons. And if you have these elements in your email, in my opinion, logo, which if someone clicks on your logo, it goes to the correct website. The amount of emails that lead to the incorrect thing, or, oh, sorry, like error 404, and two call to action buttons that say the same thing and the links lead to the correct place. That's a good email. All right. That's just what I've seen. Yes, obviously, try not to have typos in your emails. With that being said, the greatest subject line I've ever seen in terms of performance of all time is a list of typos, and it's on purpose. And I made a video about that too. And maybe you can watch it. But yeah, this video is just to show you like what I've seen in the last 8 years. I said over 200 e-com stores. This is another good email. Okay, just one call to action button, but still it's very clear where I want you to go. Maybe one way to improve this could have been save 10% now. Like that time is almost blah, 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 blah. After this sentence, save 10% now. And then this bit, the coupon code, okay, great, fantastic. Short subject line. that adds urgency. With copywriting, we talked about the eight factors that influence people, or the eight categories of things that can influence people. And this is a video about email design, and this is what I'm talking about because this is what I've seen works. Okay. um the name of the brand is going to be in here, so yeah, just take my word for it. And yeah, just wanted to wrap it up because ChatGPT said that 15 minutes is the ideal time for me to record this video. Simple skills, fancy fails. I think I heard this first from Alex Hormozy. So A/B test it. Like if you make over 100K, A/B test it. If not, just don't. Just simple. Okay, simple. Relax. There's so many people that want to like, oh my, I want my emails to make me feel proud. And actually, by the way, to be honest, why wouldn't this email make you feel proud? Like what? Why? Who says this can? It's very clean, white background, very breathable, very skimmable, one sentence per paragraph. I think aesthetically totally fine. It just depends on like what you define by aesthetics. Um, yeah, like if you make 2 mil per month and I don't know, you're Dior, yeah, you can make some nice emails. It's fine. Okay. Um, and also, done is better than perfect. So that's just a reminder of like, just there's always ways that you could make it better, or perfection, or like working towards perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. So just send the email. Okay. Just send the email. Make sure the links work, and stop bothering me about like, don't you think it would be better if we like this image was like moving and stuff. And by the way, the bigger the image and the more complicated, the more extra and like sharp it looks, the more space it will take up, and the more likely you're going to end up in a spam folder. So that's another key takeaway, which I haven't added in this list. Thank you for getting this far in the video. If you got this far, make sure you comment just checking in, so that I know that you watched this whole video, and love you. Thank you so much. If you think it would make sense to talk more about how we can help with your emails, make sure you message me. And if you're watching this on YouTube and or listening on Spotify or any of these places, make sure you like and subscribe, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much.